Let's start with the gears. The core idea for this build actually takes the armor thrusts build as reference. In my opinion, in the case of without using antinomy and blemish, the armor build is the most compatible build to ensure both damage and survival. First thing is Imperial Might. Why I didn't choose the one with the first affix corroded? That's because I'm short on sealed mana. I probably won't even be able to activate all the aura, even if I lack just a little sealed mana. Under this circumstance, we can corrode the first effects. Make sure that you corrode the fourth one, since the affixes of our soul candle are fixed, which can maximize our benefits. We can only make changes in our gears. If there is a better optimization solution in later stage, I'll replace it. Then the helmet. Since we are equipped with Imperial Might, we should get a T0 armor in our helmet, gloves or shoes. And because we're short on sealed mana, there must be a T0 sealed mana, additional armor. No need to say too much. This is an independent bonus of armor, which directly makes armor become 125%. Gain a barrier when hit. This affix is very important. It helps us to fight with the boss in the level 900 of AETERNA. Forlorn Crystal. It is mainly used to combine with a high armor to get huge amount of physical damage. There's not much need to say about that. Converts physical damage taken to erosion damage. This affix greatly enhances your survival. Because when you take erosion damage, your erosion resistance will first make a reduction in the damage. Then, air armor is very high. I didn't choose Ember armor because I was dummy testing. It took fullness instead. If I choose Ember armor, non-physical DMG mitigation is 80%. Erosion damage will be reduced by erosion resistance and non-physical DMG mitigation at the same time. This way, you will take less damage in comparison of single reduction, equivalent to one more damage reduction bonus. This affix brings a big gain. When you buy Forlorn Crystal, remember that if this affix is corroded, don't buy it. It will change the value from 100 to something lower. Sort of a negative effect. Then the gloves. There's nothing to say. Melee skill level. Here's one of the few places that you can make up your melee skill level, so it is a must. Then gear armor. Spell block chance. It is used to fulfill our attack and spell block chance. Now in my info, the additional block ratio from Aegis of Fire has already been shown. If it does not show, the spell block chance won't be 100%. As a result, we obtain spell block chance from the gloves, then combine with Aegis of Fire to fulfill attack and spell block chance. Gain Fervor, critical strike rating, inflict frostbite. These are a must. Needless to say, they're used to make up for critical strike and inflict frostbite to control freeze duration. These affixes are critical for Frostbitten hard GEMMA, so basically there's no affix that can be changed in the gloves. Then the belt. Defense. Skill duration. Walkery is cast immediately. Why I don't use decrease additional damage taken at low mana? First of all, that affix does work well. It's also an independent damage reduction multiplier zone. However, we should consider the damage and game feel. In order to ensure boost rage and charging Walkery can always exist, we must choose T0 skill duration. Otherwise, the effect of Walkery skill will not be permanent. Now it is already pushed to a limit. There's only an overflow of less than 1 second. If you choose a T1 affix, I don't think it'll be permanent. That's why this affix is so important. Then the suffix is Walkery effect, because there's no perfect suffix for damage increase. Heal add a resistance specs, additional stacks of tenacity blessing. Shoes are quite simple. In order to cater to Imperial Might, I choose T0 armor and additional armor while standing still. No need to say. Prefix should preferably be adding physical damage as fire damage. This one will be a bigger boost to damage, but it also makes it harder to craft the shoes, so we'll just do what we can. My current gears are going to be replaced in a later stage, because they're not built particularly well yet. They hadn't reached the desired ultimate effect, so they will be replaced afterwards. Try to craft your gear a little more ultimate. The ring. First thing you need is critical strike damage. You may use Shallow Dream Interpretation as the base to fill up its critical strike damage. This one hasn't been filled up yet because I'm going to change it in later stage. This ring isn't particularly good. T0 armor and max tenacity blessing stacks. Both of these affixes are must-haves. As to additional regain interval, you can choose according to your cost. I recommend additional regain interval. Although it doesn't increase your damage, it greatly enhances your survival. Test freeze duration. Then make up for resistance and critical strike rating. These two rings are actually the same. They're crafted by the same strategy, so look at one ring, and you'll get it all. I'll say no more about this. There are a few details in the weapon. Actually, neither weapon was crafted well. They're both crafted badly. But for now, this weapon is relatively better. So I just use it for now. This weapon should be crafted to have 5 T0 affixes. There are 3 necessary suffixes: shadow quantity, additional damage against frozen enemies, additional shadow damage. There are no other affixes that have a higher priority. The prefix comes from Dream Interpretation, increasing 1% attack damage for every 500 armor, additional damage applied to life. This provides a huge improvement. Damage penetrates elemental resistance. This esoteric dagger should undergo Dream Interpretation to change this affix. Deals 1% additional attack damage to an enemy. For Frostbite rating the enemy has, up to 100%. This affix should be T0 through Dream Interpretation. That is for every 3 Frostbite rating the enemy has. The trait of Frostbitten Heart GEMMA, Frigid Infusion. After it is activated, upon inflicting freeze, Frostbite rating will no longer be removed. You can see the Frostbite rating when I hit the dummy. Even when the dummy is frozen, my Frostbite rating is 300, and after a few rounds, my Frostbite rating reaches 300 in a sudden. It's almost a permanent state when I fight the boss. This affix brings 100% additional damage. 100% means a double damage boost, so it's a great improvement. Why we don't need affixes of damage increase? They seem to provide a better boost. If you look for damage increase for both of your weapons, when damage increase is high, there will be a very large dilution. I've already tested it. I took a weapon with a T3 affix. It enhanced the damage better than a T0 affix of damage increase. So remember to perform Dream Interpretation to get this affix. Why don't you make 2? Because honestly, we're short on damage increase. Damage increase will be diluted when high, but when it's low, the gains are huge. Can't be too high. But I wish I can without. It's something like that. This is the advantage of Frostbitten GEMMA build, compared with Seething Silhouette Rehan. But Seething Silhouette Rehan is melee order bomber. The gameplay of normal farming would be better. But he's certainly not as powerful as Frostbitten Heart GEMMA. If you can make this build T0, with both weapons crafted very well, not considering other parts, you can create a damage of more than 3 trillion. Compared with Seething Silhouette Rehan, I think it's much more powerful. Adds physical damage to the gear, chance to mark the target on hit. I choose this affix mainly for the mark. These suffixes are unchangeable. If you copy my strategy, you must have these suffixes. Shadow quantity is vital for us. Additional damage against frozen enemies. There's no higher return than this. So these 3 affixes are must-haves.